Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the Aussie Gamers Experience Podcast. Joining me in the cave this week is Grejio and Lucas to discuss the week that was. So sit back, relax, and get ready to drop in with some Call of Duty. E3 2020 is the latest victim. Bleeding Over, Remnant, that game that I'm pretty sure it was already released, but it's released again, but maybe it's coming soon. I don't know.
Lucas Effect.
The Lucas Effect. The Prince returns. Nvidia is doing its bit. Now I'm sick and tired of these PS5 rumours and much, much more. Editing Lucas, let's go!
This is the Aussie Gamers Experience video game podcast. This show is recorded during temperatures in summer that are too hot for dragons and in winter colder than my mother-in-law's heart. So join us as we discuss video games as best we can, all while dodging redback spiders, brown snakes, and all those other things that try to hurt, maim, or even kill us. But remember, all we need to do is stay alive long enough to see the release of that next awesome video game. Enjoy the show.
Thank you for tuning in to episode 291 this week. Today is Monday, the 16th of March, 2020. Grejio, welcome. How are you, mate?
I'm well.
You well?
Yes.
That's good.
Even better tomorrow.
Even better tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. Luke, how are you, mate?
I'm very good, Snoogs, but I've got a quick question for you, mate. Have there been any announcements this week by Jeff Knightley?
No, apparently not.
No, okay, all right. I'll just keep an eye on Jeff Keighley then. All right, cool. Yeah, no, I'm doing really well. Happy to be here. I've got another question as well. Something I've noticed over the last few, months of doing editing of the podcast. What age is it where you start repeating the last thing somebody says to you?
Huh?
I'm gonna say somewhere around our age.
Snoogs, you're doing a real parent thing that I've noticed during editing, and you've just did it like about 30 seconds ago, where you'll repeat the last thing that somebody has just said to you.
Oh.
Yeah. Everybody listening, keep an ear out for it, because Snoogs does it.
That's
it's
a
like
sales thing. Yeah, that's a sales thing that I do.
All right, does it work?
It does work. It's like, you answer a question with a question to keep them talking and get more information out of them.
All right, well, I'm not buying you shit.
Well, I'm going to quickly jump back to Greg.
Yes.
We have a day that we celebrate tomorrow.
We do.
And I don't know if we'll be able to celebrate it much this year, so we're just going to have a quiet one tonight. Happy St. Pat's Day to everybody. So to everyone that looks after it, I don't know if you heard that, but cheers. Hope you're having a good one, and you've had a good one.
Yeah.
And stayed safe and, social distancing, so that means drinking home by yourself.
In the interest of this week's being a St. Patrick's Day special, that's what I'm calling it. No one else has. I'm just claiming it. I got a drinking game for you. Every time Snoogs repeats something that someone says last, you got to drink.
God.
So enjoy getting fucked up this episode.
There you go. See, these little things that you pick up along the way, you don't even realise you're doing.
If you really want to get hammered, you got to drink every time I say
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
If you really want to get hammered, listen to last week's episode and drink every time I say fuck.
Oh, dear. If you want to make a real game of it, one of Greg's tropes is, to be fair.
Yes, it is. I love that phrase. I say it a lot.
Oh,
you do,
God.
you do.
All right, on to This Week in Gaming. We are going all the way back to 1995 to a game that we've discussed. I know Greg has discussed it. I think you have as well, Luke. Descent.
Yeah, we both love this game.
Yeah, played on DOS, and was published by Interplay and developed by Parallax Software Corporation.
Good old Interplay.
Good old Interplay. That's
they
been
just
around
made
a while.
Awesome
There it
games,
is,
didn't they?
It's
about it.
Yeah.
because they made the original Fallout.
There you go.
See, that's why I love Interplay. But I love Interplay. That's not like some sect thing, right? Just like, I love Interplay. Anyway, sorry. I just went down that rabbit hole very quickly.
Oh, no.
Descent. Yes, it was an awesome game.
It was. Let's just leave that one alone. So I don't think I have actually played Descent.
Oh, really?
So
yeah, I don't. It's not in any memory banks.
You are missing it. So you were in a spaceship, right? A little mining spaceship, and you had to go through. It was like Doom. Right? It was a first-person sort of shooter, but you were a spaceship as opposed to a person. But the novelty of this, what separated from all other sort of first-person shooters of that era, was it worked in sort of more. It had a Y axis to it. It had verticality to it, and because you were a spaceship, you could turn yourself. You could pitch and yaw and roll.
I was about to say, the people at home can't see what you're doing. I can, but yeah.
That's why I'm saying it. Pitch, yaw, roll, so you can rotate yourself in a full 360 field motion in all three axes. And then and the idea was you would go through the level and you would have to it essentially was a maze. You would have to go through and find a certain point to sort of set off a self-destruct sequence. And then you would have to race out at the end of every level.
It was very much like Doom, like you said, where you had to go find keys to unlock doors. You had to fight enemies, but you had this extra freedom where you really did one. It was the first fully 3D game that I'd played of its kind, and it gave life to one of the most interesting gamepads that I've ever used. Because the Space Orb 360 was invented specifically for this game, and it had a ball that would sort of move around on all axes, which gave you full 360 degrees movement. It was absolutely amazing. I've got a picture of it that I'll just chuck into the chat for those listening in the live chat there. You can see what I'm talking about. That was the gamepad, and it was just seamless. It was so good. I would still love for a modern day version of this to get made, even if it was just to play games like the new Descent game. I was
going to say, you're talking about the pad itself, not the game, because there was a game.
I want it to be re-released. The controller itself, so I can play use it to play the new game of Descent. So that was really cool. But Descent was awesome. Glad you brought that up.
Yeah, it was really cool because, like I said, you had to race out, so you had to be really conscious of which way you were facing
there.
and how you're facing, because you could pitch and yaw, like I said, so you could easily find yourself 180 degrees out the wrong way, and as you're rushing to leave. If you weren't conscious of that fact, a downward drop sometimes would mean that you're going the opposite way when you're supposed to be doing an upward sort of thing. So you had to be really conscious, and the levels were really designed to try and confuse you on the way out because you're obviously in a rush and in a hurry. But yeah, you had to be really on your game.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah, it was very easy to get disoriented. There's a free demo of the new game on Steam. I can't even remember the name of it. It's not called Descent. There's a sort of like a game sort of using the DNA from Descent. I can't recall. I have spoken about it previously. If you
all right,
keep chatting,
I'll have to have a look for it. So that was 95. I'm intrigued. I'll either have to have a look at it, see if I can get DOSBox to run something. Maybe it'll work. All right, boys. Well, let's jump into some.
Kazukov's come to the rescue there. It's called Overload.
Overload.
Good work, Kaz.
On you, Kaz.
He was paying attention last time we talked about it.
Good stuff.
Quick Google. That too.
Yeah, so that was released on the 17th of March, 95.
Yeah, cool.
Beautiful. Okay, boys, so let's jump into some game talk for this week, shall we?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So we're going to kick it off with the game that we've all played, Call of Duty, and the Warzone Battle Royale and Plunder.
Yeah.
So... but before we get into that, a quick g'day to A10, Azrael, Kazakyle, Radicus, and the Wraith. Did I miss anyone? Oh, Craig's still there. I suppose I should say g'day. Yeah, just the help.
You don't say hello to the help.
You don't. You just ignore the help.
Yeah, it's just there.
So, of course, Call of Duty. We've been playing Call of Duty with a few people from here. And Lucas, how have you been finding the new Battle Royale?
Well, simply put, that's a fucking hard game to play. It is frustratingly sweaty at the moment. I guess all the people that are, the big COD legends are obviously gagging for this mode to come out for a while now, and it's just released surprisingly really quickly. And it's a really hard mode to play. And I kind of felt a little bit better when... Can someone help me out here? What's the name of that big Battle Royale streamer? He's one of the biggest names. That I can't quite remember at the moment. Shroud. That's it. Kazakol he's on the ball. Shroud. I watched one of Shroud's videos today, and even he cursed, saying, "Why the hell is everyone so bloody good in this game?" So that didn't...
Yes.
that sort of made me feel a little bit better.
He has not been real happy with the Battle Royale side of it. He's cursed the Gulag mechanic, and I think it was just because... Yeah, like he was getting absolutely flogged.
Yeah,
for a little while there. He's got a couple of wins up his sleeve now, but I'm really enjoying it. I don't know what it is about battle royales where I can just switch off and just go jump for jump for jump. So I don't know whether it's because of how I play. I generally get up towards the top end. I'm yet to win one. I've got a second, but it's just I think because everything's so different. Every game is different. You drop in a different place. You take a different loadout. You can find a different way to go about it. Thankfully, I've got my new router, so my Call of Duty is actually working again, so I'm not just glitching all over the place. And
see, the main issue for me is that you say that, you're happy just playing it mindlessly and all that sort of stuff, but the issue that I have is that I'm not competitive in Battle Royale in Warzone almost at all, to the point where if I survive to the top 10, it's because I've had no encounters. It's to the point where I'm not used to it enough that as soon as I face an enemy that knows I'm there, it's game over because they'll finesse me and I'm lamb to the slaughter. I don't know. And
what happened with us last night?
Well, we'll get to that. But that is basically my issue with Warzone starting off, because although it's Call of Duty, it's nothing like Call of Duty. It is a completely new beast. The TTK, or the time to kill, is probably 3 or 4 times longer than in the standard multiplayer, which means that they're kind of bullet spongy because they've got these 3 armor plates, which makes no sense. Why would there be 3 armor plates stuffed down the front of a vest? That doesn't make any sense, but we'll move on from that. But it's bullet spongy, and it almost feels like I've got to put in 3 times the amount of bullets than the enemy needs to put into me. I don't know, but I pretty much struggle with any encounter. That has been the first few days of Battle Royale for me, and it's frustrating. I don't want to make it to the final and come second, third, or even win with no kills. That's just boring. I find that absolutely pointless gameplay. However, it's something you've got to get used to because it's completely different to Call of Duty, the standard multiplayer. It changes everything. And I'm starting to sort of come around to it, playing a little bit more and getting used to it. To the point where, I actually think last night was probably the most enjoyable time I had in Warzone. We're playing Plunder. Go ahead, Snoogs.
There was one round that you and I played where between the two of us we dropped, I think, 5 or 6 people in a very short space of time. Then we ran past an open door and the straggler inside with the light machine gun got us.
Yeah, that was the one where I think I was a little bit beast there, and I took out their whole squad, which went well. But what we didn't realise is there was that one straggler hanging out just waiting for us to leave after whoever was victorious and just took us down, which was a bit of a pain in the ass. But even though that was a failure, I still enjoyed it because I was competitive in that engagement. If I'm just hopeless and can't even and just get killed instantly without a fight, that's what I hate. But if I have a battle and I lose, I'm cool with that. But it's just a frustration thing that you got to work through because you got to learn the wave the land, so to speak, because it's a completely different beast to what I'm used to.
Yeah.
It's
lots of high ground, sort of capture the hill. That's what I've found. But Greg, you've jumped in and had a few rounds as well.
Yeah. So we all know how I feel about battle royales. I'm not a big fan of them. And look, this is probably not going to be an exception. However, of all the battle royales I've played, I probably see myself playing this one the most because there's enough. And I mean, as much as you guys say it's not very COD-y. There's a lot of COD DNA in it, which I think. And they've done a few things that if you're a battle royale player, you might not like them, but I think they're enough to set it apart. And for me, I kind of enjoyed it. So the Gulag thing, right? I actually kind of like that. It's kind of cool. It is an absolute blood sport. That is a microcosm of.
I think it's great.
There's a microcosm of like battle royale right in there.
Yeah.
So like the first time I got chucked in, I just got chucked straight into a match and I think I lost. So I got stuck out. But the next one I got chucked straight in and I won. It was awesome. The next one I was queued. So I was on the catwalk above it.
Yes.
And I went, this is a really cool mechanic because if you're in a team where you're talking to each other and you have one of your teammates in there, you can help call the shots and get him help him, give him an advantage. And then all of a sudden they get sucker punched by another dude who's also waiting and you can have a straight up fist fight on the catwalk. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this is some bloody awesome brutality going on here.
That I will say gives me the shits when you're trying to watch the fight going on and there's some idiot just punching you in the side of the head. Oh my god, that's annoying. It actually does damage too.
It does. So whatever damage you cop in that fist fight, you take to your gun battle.
Oh, I never even paid that much attention to it.
Yeah,
it's very minimal, but you do,
Yeah, but it's still enough to make a difference if it's down to the wire.
I know if because you can throw rocks at the people that are down in the showers fighting.
Yep.
And that actually causes, I think it takes 1 or 2 health points off.
If they're down low on health and you throw a rock at them, you can kill them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I saw a video today as well. Another tactic is this poor player placed a claymore and he walked past the claymore, which you can do. You can walk past your own claymores. But somebody up on the walkway up the top threw a rock at the claymore, which detonated it and killed the guy that put it down.
Oh no!
Wow! I'd be so pissed off, wouldn't you? But that's it. I actually appreciate that mechanic. I think that's pretty cool. But it sucks for the poor bastard who died.
So some of the other, I like the fact that you can bring loadouts into your game. So they're not something you can pick up. You can't bring them in with you, but there's a mechanic where you can buy them, right?
You can buy them and get them dropped in, so to speak.
You can get them dropped in. So you can get your favorite loadouts dropped in. I think what's interesting about that is not the fact that you can drop in your loadouts, but it actually does change what weapons are available on the field. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you noticed it, but there is a very high rate of getting quite a good top-tier weapon on these maps.
Yeah.
It's not like other versions of where I can play for, I can sit and play out my session of getting sick of this game and I can probably never see a legendary weapon the entire time I play it. Whereas in this game, it's almost like if I don't see 4 or 5 in a round, I've missed out. Like they're just everywhere. And I think that's to level out the people that are bringing in those loadouts that are specific to what they like.
Yes.
It's the only way you can keep that
should
at least to that, some sort of parity.
My understanding of the loadouts, bringing the loadouts, you can only actually do that if you own Call of Duty. Or have you been able to do that?
I haven't gotten that far to try it, but
I'll have to have a look at that.
Yeah, actually, no, it's my understanding that you can only bring in a custom class if you own Call of Duty, because otherwise you don't actually have any custom classes because you don't have the game.
You've got to build custom classes for Plunder.
Yeah, that's true, but different game mode, pretty sure you can't do that. It's kind of like a premium thing, a bit of a gift to people that own the game. I don't know if that'll change, but I'm pretty sure at launch that was the way that the game... I don't really know because I own the game.
I don't. Yeah, I didn't. It wasn't something I tried. So.
I'm pretty sure I could bring them in. But, well, I suppose, because while playing it on the Xbox, I like the fact that it brings all of my progress from playing it on the PS4 to me logging into my Xbox account.
That's what I was going to
So, I
suggest.
suppose
Now,
that-
this could be counteracted. If you don't own the game, but you install it using a disc from a friend and give it back, you may then have access to it.
No, because you can't run it. They actually said that the day before it released, when people were doing the preload for it, that if you don't have the disc anymore, you had to delete it and re-download it.
Right, okay.
So you still need the disc to run it.
Yeah, right. So moving on from that, I played it. I didn't mind it, but it still wasn't really my cup of tea.
Mm-hmm.
Until I played Plunder. All of a sudden, I went, "Ooh, I really enjoy this mode. This is because it's more that while it's still a battle royale style, it's much
strategic.
more. Well, it's what's the word? Objective based.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't
And
actually
on top
think
of
that
that-
it's battle royale style. I would class Plunder as just a typical multiplayer game, just on a battle royale map.
Yeah, okay. I guess that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, 'cause it's-
and there's
you keep
multiple
dropping in.
teams.
Yeah.
Like there's more than just 2 teams.
Yeah,
It's
well, that's
like-
right. But yeah, simply it's a multiplayer game on a big map with respawns, and
Yep.
you just basically got to go and get the most amount of money. This is where I found my peace last night. But you continue. I'll come up to that.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah. So you can load in with your loadouts, but at the same time, there's all the weapons still spread around, so you can still pick them up and still chop and change. But yeah, just racking up this. And like my first time playing it, I came 8th.
Yep.
Right. And I started off with 2 team members. One dropped out in the first 5 minutes of playing the game, and the next bloke dropped out in the first 10 minutes. So the rest of the level I played by myself and still managed to come 8th. So I'm pretty stoked with that, considering, but that's how much I enjoyed this. And I could see the best strategic way to play this. Like, I don't know what it is about my head that I just saw this work for me. And I could probably sink my teeth into Plunder. It's quite an enjoyable mode. But then, obviously, like Luke said, it's moving away from that battle royale style sort of game. While it has some battle royale features to it, it's not a actual battle royale.
Well, it takes away from that, all or nothing.
Yeah.
Because that's pretty much what a battle royale is.
Yeah.
Once you're done, you're done.
Yeah.
Whereas this, you've got the ability to spawn back in. Yes, you lose some of your money, but you've got the ability to keep going and go at it.
All right, we'll just
what were you saying?
quickly clarify for people that haven't played it that may be listening. Plunder is a mode where it's simply just collect as much money as you can. First team to $1 million wins. The game, I think, will tell you if you're placing in the top 10. If you're not top 10, it doesn't tell you shit. It'll be mission complete at the end, and you'll get some XP. But the thing is that puts me at peace with this, and this is where I found my fun, is that I treated Plunder as a practicing battleground for Battle Royale. Last night, I completely ignored the whole collect as much money as you can. Well, I did. I collected as much money as I could, but I didn't stress too much about, where we were sitting. And I just went for fights. And I went to see what sort of fights I could engage in and win in. And I started getting used to it. I'm not very accustomed to sniping. I've been starting using marksman rifles and snipers, trying to get kills, and I've been successful in a few. And it was actually quite fun having all of these little battles. And it was actually really fun. And whether or not we came last, I don't know, or were near the top, I don't really give a shit. It was actually just fun to just play and have these mini battles and see how you go. And then you respawn when you die.
I must admit, there's one part of Plunder that I really enjoyed, and that was that you have to get the money out.
I was going to say, this is where the Dark Zone comes into it.
The Dark Zone comes in,
It has a lot of elements in this version.
And so because you have to, it's not just about collecting the money, you've actually got to extract it as well.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'll correct you there.
You
don't need to. You don't have to. But it will make your money safe, though, if you extract it.
Yes.
So
Okay.
if you have $1 million in your pocket, you'll still win. But if you die, you'll lose half of it.
Yeah.
But if you extract the money and you die, then your money's safe.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So the idea of the extraction is to lock your money in.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I really enjoyed the extraction mechanic, and yes, because of the division,
Yep.
it's it's a good mechanic. It's something that really works. And those mini battles, like you were talking about, Luke, they around extraction points. That's where you would have them, and that's where I had a lot of them.
Yes,
and you were sort of you were doing this, and I was doing the same things that I would be doing in the Dark Zone, where I would call in the chopper. And then I'd be doing laps around the outside, looking to see where people were, and you'd find them, And there was things like you'd shoot in a different direction so that you could, try and draw them out or anything like that. So I really enjoyed that mechanic, and to be honest with you, I can see myself playing a lot more of Plunder just to.
I can see that they may not have had that mechanic in it to begin with, and then found that without it, there was actually not as much combat because the maps are so big that you can kind of play that level without getting into a skirmish.
Yes.
The only thing that would bring you into one is when you extract your money or you're overlapping where you're searching with someone else.
Yeah.
But if you can find a quiet corner of the map, you can go about your business. No one cares unless you're number one, and because that's the other part of the mechanic in this level is if you're number one, you get lit up on the map so everyone knows where you are. They can hunt you down and take your money, right?
I think it's top 3 get marked, don't they?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, it is the top 3.
Yeah.
So there's that. So unless, like I said, and that time I played, I found myself a neat little corner. Especially, I'm by myself. So there's teams of 3 out there hunting. I'm one. I don't know how many other team of 1s there are. So I'm like, I'm playing this safe because I'm just going to get murdered otherwise. So I found quiet spots and I picked stuff up and I made extractions when everything was quiet, and I just make them and run. Like there was no hanging around. I wasn't doing patrols, wait for someone else. No, I'm out. All right, I get a vehicle and I'm bugging out.
Bugging out, yeah.
And it worked. Like it works when you do it that way. But I can see where, like, when I had a full squad and we were working together, you can do things very tactically. You can search and keep watch over each other, and it's good.
That's one other thing I want to point out, that I've not had a negative experience with a teammate in Battle Royale yet, or in either form, Battle Royale or the Plunder. It seems to be that, the majority of people, if they've got a mic, they want to talk, they want to laugh. There's been a few that have been exceptionally tactical.
Yeah,
and they're amusing, I'll admit. And those ones are a lot of fun. The round where I came second, the 3 of us were talking the whole time through, and sharing the resources, because of course you can pick up the armor plates. You find different guns and whatnot, and it was just good. It's been very community based. The tools
that are involved with allowing you to communicate as well, not just talking, but the tools that are available to you, like pinging and how you can share your stuff and how you can request stuff through the controls, especially if you can't talk through a mic. There are ways in how you highlight enemies and stuff like that. It's really good, and it gives you a lot of information, and it gives you a lot of freedom to work as a team as best as you possibly can. I think, there's no vaguety about this dude near the building. You're like, which building? And you can just double tap the dude when he lights up, and everyone knows where he is. So.
And you've still got the directionals at the top to call it out if you're speaking. That's good.
Yep.
Anything else you want to add to it, Luke?
No, well, that's it for now. Hopefully one day I might be able to announce a win, but don't hold your breath, because that's not very likely.
So, can I talk about one thing?
Shoot.
I went digging through the store.
Okay, yeah.
Right. I'm just going to make this really quick and simple. Everything is stupid expensive.
Yes.
And it's dumb stuff. Like, don't get me wrong. I look at it and I go, it's really cool. But there's one of the things is like charms for your guns.
Yeah.
Right? And I look at it and go, that's a really cool charm. And I was almost starting to get sucked into this. I'm like, oh, that'd be really cool. I wish I had that. And then all of a sudden I went, hang on, whoa, take a step back. This thing is the size of the knob on the end of your bolt action rifle bolt. Yeah. Right? There's no way you're going to see that in the game. The only time you'll see it is when you're in your armory, just staring at your gun, looking and going, oh, that's a pretty
you see it when you're running around or whatever. You'll see it wobble a little bit.
But you won't be able to, it'll be any other wobbling piece of garbage. Yeah. It'll just be you'll know it's the leprechaun because it's a green wobbling piece of garbage, not a grey piece of wobbling garbage.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, so if you play through all 100 levels, right? So, and this is where it all gets a bit confusing.
Battle Pass you're talking about,
With the Battle Pass, you have to buy the Battle Pass to unlock the ability to work the 100 levels.
No.
Well, this is what I got. So if you don't buy it, you get, like, the first 20 levels?
No.
This is what... I'm reading the description. This is how I read it.
No. So if you don't buy the Battle Pass, I think there is 20 free things that you can pick up in the Battle Pass.
Yep.
But you have to get to those levels.
Yeah.
So it's not the first 20 levels, those 20 pieces are spread over the 100. So it'll be one at level 5, one at level 17.
Oh, that's even worse.
One at, whatever. So that's kind of how it works. And there's a few of those ones
You just don't want to
from
pay
what I
so
thought
don't.
it was. From what I thought it was.
But it's not.
It's worse than what I thought it was.
It's completely optional. If you don't like the Battle Pass, don't go onto that tab and ignore that it exists.
No. Let me finish what I was about to say. Like,
all right.
I just want to. So even if you buy the Battle Pass, right?
Yes.
Up until now, like I don't necessarily have a problem with Battle Passes. Right?
Just make your fucking point.
The experience that you guys have had with the Battle Passes you've played has been a positive one. You've played it. You've played enough to buy the next lot of Battle Pass.
Yes.
So you've never actually had to spend more money than your original outlay on the Battle Pass.
Yes.
Now, you know you won't be able to do that with this one.
No, you will if you buy the Battle Pass.
How?
Because it still levels up exactly the same.
Except for the fact that the Battle Pass costs 2,400 COD points, and the maximum you can make over 100 levels is 1,300.
No.
No, it doesn't.
That's the one with the 20 skip levels.
Oh, that's what you're talking about. You're talking about the first 20. Right. Okay.
The standard Battle Pass is 1,100 COD points, which is about $14, $15.
No, it's 1,000 COD
points. So where
points.
am I getting confused? I looked at the 100 levels.
No, just stop. I'll quickly put it into a nutshell for you, okay? The Battle Pass is 1,000 COD points, okay? I think that is about $15. If you buy that, then you start at level... I think it takes you to 6 or 8. They're like... you're level 1 still, but I think there's like a few before it that it gives you for nothing for paying for it, right? Okay, and then you work all the way to 100, and then you'll have about 1,300 at the end of it if you don't spend any, because you get COD points. There is a second one that you can buy, which is double that price, which is about $30, and that will push you to your beginning level being level 20. So then you move on from there. You pay extra to have that boost at the start, so you're starting at level 20. So yes, either way, you can pay for the 1,000 COD points or the boosted one. If you get to level 100, you don't even need to get to level 100, but if you get to a certain point, you'll be able to purchase it in the following season.
Sure. Okay. Sure. I read it wrong. I know.
No, that's all good.
And I don't have a problem with you doing that. That's fine. You made a mistake. Just don't fucking do it again. Because I'm fucking perfect and never make mistakes.
Well, that's what editing Lucas is for. Luke.
Yeah.
Tell us about the game that is kind of out again, but I don't know if it's been out before.
What fucking game are you talking about?
Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
Oh, okay.
Lucas Effect. So the reason I want you to talk about it is because I have tried to play it a couple of times this week, and the bastard never loaded.
Yeah,
so
it's a mess.
You've had a bit of a better experience. In other words, you've actually been able to try it.
Oh, well, yeah, if you want to call it that. I downloaded it and I played it on my Xbox, and it loaded up the menu screen without any of the menu. So while it looked pretty, it did absolutely nothing. I wasn't quite sure what was going on. Crashed it, closed it down, loaded it up again, and I got the menu this time, and it had, new game. So I started a new game. I think I was actually talking to Azrael at the time. We're in a party chat, and I said, I really want to try Ori and the Will of the Wisps, but I know it's going to have a really long-winded introduction that's going to be boring, and I don't want to... And then I'm like, okay, well, I've got nothing else to do. I'm going to try it. So I loaded it up, had that issue, crashed it, started again, got into the game, and sure as shit, yes, it has a long-winded, boring introduction to the game, and I got through that part, started playing it, and I just had no want to keep playing this game further than what I already had. It just was more of the same. It was the same as the original one. It looked pretty. The animations were nice and slick, but it just... it was just boring. I really don't see the attraction to this game, but obviously not taking away from some people that are really into it, but I'm just not. It's a platformer, and it's not even a remarkable one.
There's some people in the chat that are creaming over a glowing tree in the game, so that's,
Is that the glowing tree, or is that in the game, or the bonsai that Xbox ANZ have released?
Oh, maybe that's...
it lights up. Yeah, the bonsai.
Bonsai. Yeah, fair enough.
There you go.
It's pretty. There's nothing that's not pretty about it except for the actual gameplay experience, if you ask me. And I played the previous one, and it was really grating. It's slow to get going, and for some reason I didn't pay attention to the introduction this time. For some reason, Ori has lost all of his powers. I don't know why. Probably some storm that occurred has taken his powers away. And
that's
maybe
just
another
sequel.
loved
That's
one
sequel
died.
curse right there.
Well, it is, but it's just a real dry taste to play that game. I don't know. I'd like to hear from somebody who actually really loves it, and for them to explain to me what it is that they love, because
I know someone that you can talk to, but I know that they talk a lot, and you don't like hearing it.
I know who you're talking about. It's all good.
Because
I can imagine he would cream his pants over this game.
No, he does. He loved the first one as well, because I rage deleted the first.
He's a very visually stimulated creature. He does things.
I rage deleted the original Ori because, and it was one of the first games that I actually played on the Xbox. And everyone here that's listening and that knows me and platformers are not really good friends. So I got to a point in the original Ori where I rage deleted it, and I haven't looked at it since. And I put that on Twitter or something, and got a lesson in the mechanics of it being flawless, and that's fantastic. I'm glad it was. But look, I want to see because I ended up watching it because I enjoyed the story, so I watched someone else go through and explain the story and what happened in the original. So I wouldn't mind seeing how this one goes, but to actually play through it, it's because it's a platformer. I think for me personally, it's not going to be the best outcome.
Oh, well, look, the story is not intriguing. The story is quite kid-like. It's a child-friendly telling of a very spiritual kind of story, which for me, that's just utter bore fest. I don't like it. Look, I don't want to take away from its spectacular nature. It is a good game, but it just does not interest me.
That's just
at all.
Not for you.
No,
that's fair enough.
No, and I love platformers, love it, but I feel like there's a better story in Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Well, that's good.
Between this and Concrete Genie, I'm starting to think Luke doesn't like pretty things.
Yeah, that's why I don't
think
like
Radicus
you,
is.
Yeah, because I'm pretty.
That's right.
I think Radicus has put something for you in the chat as well. You might want to have a look at. But while you're doing that, we'll go over to Greg and his GTA 5. So you've been playing online. I haven't joined you this week because of my issues.
So my crowdfunding effort in the game is continuing.
Yes.
So I haven't quite reached my 1.5 million mark yet. I'm up to 900. Thankfully, I got a good run the other night where I had a unicorn moment where I was doing
unicorn moment. That sounds good.
Yeah, so I was just cycling through my VIP missions because they're good money spinners, and everyone sort of just left the server by this one dude. They just sort of all just left. So it was just me, this one dude, and this one dude is clearly gambling his ass off because he spent about 2 hours in the casino, right? Just sitting there doing nothing.
Right? I have no money now because that's all I did.
Just gambling his ass off, which meant that I was hinder free to just do whatever VIP mission I liked. So I just picked ones that were like simple, but only simple because there's no one there. Like the executive hide and seek thing. I can't remember what it's called. But essentially,
I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
you just have to drive to this area, and it marks off an area, and then you have to hide and try and defend yourself from while every other player tries to come and kill you in this one area. It's incredibly hard to play normal. But when the dude's just sitting there playing the fucking one-armed bandits, I'm just standing there driving in a doughy. It's like the game's telling me, you have to move when your thing goes red, it means everyone can see where you are. I'm like, don't care, sitting there. And then for doing nothing, I get like 25 grand. I'm like, sweet, done. And move on to the next one. So I did that. I got to do that for about 2 hours. So I made about 300 grand in that time, which was a pretty good effort. But the time before that, it was just horrendous. There were just vicious people everywhere. You couldn't get away with anything. I actually turned my whole CEO thing off and decided to just run around. After a while, I was like, I'm not even making money this way. I might just go do some missions. But then I had the worst time, actually, when I think about it, because even when I got into the missions, like some of the stuff that's like super easy, like some of the repo missions that I normally, even if I drop in with randoms, they just like get done so quickly because they're just so simple. Like they're not hard, they're not complex. But we're just having like one where you got to collect cars off the plane and just bring them back.
Oh, yes.
Stupid easy, right?
Yeah.
We spent half an hour and retried that mission 3 times to get it right because of the morons I was playing with. I was just like, oh my goodness. And I got 12 grand for it. I'm like, I wasted half an hour for a whole 12 grand. It should have been done in like 9 minutes tops. Bloody hell. Anyway, but yeah, so that's where I'm at with Grand Theft Auto. So hopefully this time next week, I'll have my 1.5 and I'll be doing something different other than VIP missions.
Yes. Just another way to make more money.
Yes.
Luke.
Yes.
Pretty much just you left now, mate. So, 2 Point Hospital.
All right, so finally played 2 Point Hospital. I think we talked about it before, and I hadn't actually played it just yet, and I had downloaded it. Well, I gave it a try in the last week, and I was happy to report back that it brought back plenty of memories from playing Theme Hospital back in the day, back in the 90s. And it's just, as you said, it is just a prettier version. The graphics are upgraded and plays just as well as I remember. The only thing is, I think my taste in video games has migrated away from those kind of games. I don't really have the patience to sit there and just essentially build something and then wait for stuff to happen, which is pretty much what those games are. I know it does ramp up and it gets like really fast paced, and you know you got to keep an eye on everything and you're constantly managing things. But I don't know, I don't think that game's for me anymore. I don't think there's a lot of games dropping off my list of games that I enjoy these days, getting sort of to that grumpy old man age. But it's a good game if you like those kind of management, build and manage kind of games. Think 2 Point Hospital is pretty damn good. It was a nice looking game. So I only played it for a little bit, got a bit of a taste of it. I appreciate it, but yeah, I stopped playing it and probably won't play it anymore.
It's a very good nostalgia run.
Yeah, and there's still a lot of people out there would appreciate this game, so it's a totally viable game. I reckon people should play that if it sounds like it's up their alley.
Beautiful. All right, mate, jump on with Bleeding Edge.
All right, now Bleeding Edge. Now here's another one, and we are getting a little bit of a theme. This was a beta
back this week, wasn't it?
Yeah, just the beta. It was available this weekend. I think it's still available right now, as in time of recording, and will probably be finished by the time this episode gets released, so on Sunday. But Bleeding Edge is a third-person, basically it's a third-person Overwatch game, and it had a pretty comprehensive sort of training introduction to the game where it showed you the mechanics. And that was about as far as I cared to take it, because it's real hard to sort of describe, because it wasn't bad, but I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. But then you get people like the Wraith who messaged me today saying that he actually quite likes it. Depending, you know, obviously he tried a different character than I did. He was some boss dude that could smash everything. But I don't know. It was like a mixture of free flow combat. So your button mash sort of combos, where you just smash a button to do melee attacks and things like that. And then you also had specials on a cooldown. And it's a very team-based game where there are some fights that you probably won't get through if you don't have a healer. And I don't know, I didn't gel with it. I didn't like the animations. So the actual fight combat animations weren't, aesthetically pleasing for me. I know I'm being quite picky, and I
didn't even bother downloading it. I think yourself and the Wraith both said, we're going to have a crack at it. It's the beta this weekend. I saw the release for the beta, and I had a look at it and just went, not going to bother.
Well, there's not a lot of people talking about it. I haven't seen much sort of around like news or gameplay videos or anything like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if this game is going to be another one of those sort of the games that fall by the wayside and sort of fail, kind of like that Cliffy Blazinski one. If anyone, Kazza might be able to help me with the name of that because I can't remember the name of that one either. But there was a few games that tried to take on.
It had a bit of hype at E3.
It did, yeah.
It had a bit of hype, like they were hyping it up at E3, but then they sort of just seemed to not do anything with that.
It just faded
And I think
away, yeah.
that's always going to be a problem. If you're going to start doing that, you need to keep on top of it until the game comes out.
Yeah, well, I got no official information to say that the beta tests were on. It was just through, I think it was with Game Pass that you could see that it come up that you could download it, but I didn't get any email from Game Pass or anything like that to say it was coming. So yeah, I don't know whether they just didn't want to overload it or either they've just sort of realised that maybe that's just not going to do its thing.
Maybe. I just think that it's not enough to have a point of difference when you're entering a market that's somewhat saturated. This is kind of another sort of rumbler kind of.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a beat 'em up version of Overwatch, isn't it?
Well, yeah, there's been a lot of Overwatch games that have games like Overwatch that have tried to take them on, like Lawbreakers. I just did a quick Google there, which was Cliff Blazinski's attempt at something like that, which I think are just failing miserably. And look, I don't think this game has an X factor that's going to take it away from Overwatch. And
I think that's what I'm saying. I don't think that's enough anymore.
No,
you can't just have an X factor. You have to sell it. You have to like Overwatch. They just pan the hell out of that thing.
Whether you like the game or not.
And they just
everything about it.
They got the hype, and then they just kept piling on, and that's what really carried that game through.
Well, I don't even think
back at the beginning, I go, this probably won't take off, considering what it's up against. But it just kept chipping away, and it kept doing its thing, and it just kept being in everyone's face.
But Overwatch, the creative of Overwatch, was Blizzard. Was that a Blizzard game?
Yeah.
I don't even think they've got the balls to go up against their own game by not releasing a sequel because it's working so well. So yeah, I don't know. But look, I don't see much coming from it. That's just my prediction. And I didn't care to play it beyond the actual training missions.
It's like, yep, I've trained, I know what I'm doing, and I'm going to do something else now.
Yeah. All right, well, how about I move on to my last one, which is another game that I didn't like.
Remnant from the Ashes.
Oh, I so wanted to like this game because it actually is good, but it's just so stupidly hard. Were you going to say something?
Yeah, I've heard good things about it.
It's good. It is. It's good. But I don't understand why it's so bloody hard. Wraith and I have been playing it quite a fair bit. And I think we've probably leveled up to almost max level in the first level because we couldn't find where to go. So we were essentially just grinding the whole time, looking for where we needed to actually progress the story. Turns out that we were just idiots and didn't know what we were doing. So we finally worked out where the final boss was. And final boss of that level, the first level, mind you, and it just destroys you. It throws these like spears at you that will cause bleeding, and then there'll also be clouds of gas that will make you sick. If you run out of toilet paper, which I assume is supposed to be a bandage, but it looks like a roll of TP, good for the times, I guess.
Very topical.
That's right. But it just throws all this shit at you, and it's kind of like Dark Souls, so there's not much forgiveness when you get hit. You take massive chunks of damage, and the boss is just a sponge and is so hard to take down. And on top of the boss, there's like hundreds of the minions, the ads that will come at you, and they also do massive punishing damage, and they will spawn behind you even seconds after you've just looked to see if it was clear. It's just ridiculously hard. Now, it's possible to do, and I've heard great things about this game because the gameplay is pretty damn good, but the punishing difficulty in level 1 completely destroyed it for me. Can't get past that boss, and it's just frustrating. It's too hard. So, anyone who likes a super duper challenge, go for it. But that game gave me the shits. It's co-op
So
too.
download it
co-op.
and get ready to rage.
Yeah,
Sounds
it's
like
available on Game Pass for Xbox. Not PC though, unfortunately, but Game Pass for Xbox. You can give it a try for free if it's your thing.
give it a crack.
Go nuts. Yeah, I'd like to hear what you got to think about it. Give it a go. I dare you.
Greg and I'll have a crack at it. See how quick we can rage.
Do it.
You got a stopwatch?
Yeah, I think we'll need it. All right. Well, that's it for the games for this week. So let's jump into some news. Now, there's a big news item that's revolving around E3. I want to leave that till the end because I want to have a bit of a chat about it. But a couple of other things that are going on. Nvidia has come out and asked the gamers of the world for their assistance. So pretty much if you have a gaming PC, you can lend your graphical power to fighting the COVID-19 outbreak. So what this is, that is something similar on
Cancer.
the PS3 days. You could use some of the extra sort of power when you weren't using your PS3 to pretty much work as the GPU was helping to dig through the data and get things done. So what you have to do now is you download the Folding Home application, and you can start putting your spare clock cycles towards advancing humanity's scientific knowledge of coronavirus. So the program itself links computers into an international network that sort of uses the power to chew through those big computing tasks.
Yep.
And anyone that's got a GPU knows that, GPUs were very big when people were data mining for Bitcoin, and they've got a fair bit of grunt. So this application, you can turn it on and off and, leave it when you're not using it. It's connected to the net and just running and doing its thing. When you are using it, you turn it off and you've got your full clock speed back. So what do you boys think of that?
I think it's good. I mean, so it's been done before with I don't think there was a cancer research thing where they did the same thing. That I was trying to crunch data for cancer cure and research. So look, I mean,
it's a good cause, but that kind of thing can be quite detrimental to your hardware. So, I mean, how do you put a price on such a big outbreak? Obviously it's a good thing to try and assist with that, but it's at your own risk because it could destroy your video card. And Wraith is thrown in the chat. I don't know if Wraith is being serious there, but he says that he burnt out his Alienware laptop with the SETI app using 300% of the CPU to decode transmission from space. I don't know, but it can put some real serious strain on your hardware. So, he's just said it is true. So, well, if it's putting that sort of strain on it, I don't understand why it would need to in this day and age. The amount of stuff like the sheer computing power that's available to these people, I don't know why you'd need to do it. Look, it's a good cause, but look at it at your own detriment or own risk. Yeah. So weigh up the options. Lucas, there's some Lego coming out that a whole bunch of 30-somethings are going to go and buy and say it's for their kids. Well, yes, and maybe no. I don't know. But look, there is news about Lego Mario coming out. So Lego has previously, this is the information I've got from a website, they previously had a deal with the competitor of Lego, which is called Connects, and but today they've made an announcement that could be changing soon, where they may team up with Lego and Super Mario. No specific details have been revealed just yet, and I agree, it is pretty exciting to see what comes our way. Now, I don't care about Lego. When I was a kid, I had building blocks. I don't know if they were Lego or not, but I never cared. I wasn't much of a Lego kid, right? I was always into electronics. But the thing that really interests me with this is if Lego team up with Mario, we might get a Lego Mario Brothers game. And that's what I'm interested in.
Have you not seen the video?
What video?
Ah, okay.
Are you talking about the Lego Mario?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Where you can build like your own little Mario level and play a game with someone to move Mario through it. And when he jumps on things, like a little screen in the front of him that lights up and says it's a coin or a one-up or whatever.
Yeah, I saw the screen in the Mario, but is there an actual video game that goes along with it?
Oh, I don't know about a video game. I'm talking about the actual physical Lego.
Yeah, okay. Well, I have seen that, but that's not what interests me because, like I said, I'm not really that interested in the Lego side of things. But there's stuff come out where there'll be an actual Mario that it looks like a very expensive Lego Mario because it has video screens in it, which which
Yes.
is, that's scary. But I like the concept of Lego and Mario, or Lego and Nintendo essentially being in each other's pockets to maybe come out and make a Super Mario Lego, or Lego Super Mario. I reckon that would be cool. I've loved my Lego games in the past, and I think a Mario one would be amazing. So
nice.
that was the thing that caught my eye, because I'm like, ooh, Lego and Mario and video games. Yes, please. Make something like that, and I will be happy.
That sounds good. All right, mate. I've got another rumour for the PS5.
Oh, lovely. Because there's not enough of them.
So, because there's not enough of them floating around. All right.
Thanks
So this
for
is another
repeating
one.
what I just said.
Yeah, I know.
Drink.
Drink it.
Drink.
I think it's the second or third time I've done it this one around. The head of PlayStation Worldwide Studios has once again promised the platform will continue to prioritise single-player games. Now, I don't know how many times in the past this has been said. I know it was said before the PS4. I know it was said during the PS4. And I'm pretty sure it was said a couple of times during the PS3 life cycle. So that's the rumour that this person's come out and said it. I haven't seen anything official. I've only seen it on 2 different pages, which means they're probably talking to each other.
There's just more rumours about shit we already know, because
Can I just say this is like the
No, you can't. I'm
dumbest-
halfway through saying something. Just wait. We already know that the PlayStation has fantastic single-player games. Nobody cares,
Yes.
but it's a thing. We know that. Big deal.
Yeah, please bring out more. We want you to bring out more. That's the idea.
Greg, go.
This is the dumbest shit I've heard. Let's look back. What they do during the PS4, they brought out really cool single-player games. What they do during PS3, brought out really cool single-player games. Why do you think they're going to change their business model now, dickhead? Fucking shut up and stop speaking the obvious. Fuck.
Can I just say? Can I just say? Can you guys stop
Yeah.
putting vomiting GIFs in the chat? I'm staring at it. I'm sick of fucking seeing it. Now that I've said that, it's just going to be heaps in there now, isn't
Yeah,
it?
There you go. There's a boobs one for you.
That's better. That's better. Much better. Kaza, if that in Radicus, if it's vomit, I'm gonna fucking ban you.
All right, last bit of news, boys. E3 has officially been cancelled over coronavirus fears. Now, we kind of saw the writing on the wall last week when they were still going ahead with it, but the LA was in a state of emergency, and everything's come out and been banned, gatherings, and geez, I've got to stop looking over there.
I don't know what that was.
I don't know, that was your end.
I know, but what was that?
That was the Mario Lego.
No, I don't have
Coming to
anything
get
that
you.
makes that
Lego heard that you didn't care, and they're like, "What the fuck? He doesn't care? What?"
Who the fuck? Somebody just started a video on my phone. What the hell? How does that happen? My favourite Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2014 movie. How did that just start playing? What is going on? That's weird. Sorry about that interruption. My phone's on mute
all right.
as well.
Oh, it's coming out to get you.
Jesus. Anyway, sorry, I've interrupted someone there. What were we up to?
That's all right. I was talking about the cancellation of E3.
Ah, right.
So the writing was on the wall last week, and it has now officially been cancelled. But it's been cancelled. It's probably the right thing to do given the way the world is at the moment. I was surprised given how far away it is, because it's not until June, isn't it?
Yeah.
June or July.
I think they're being realistic. I don't think this is going to blow over in a couple of weeks' time. This is still going to be a problem.
Yeah, I think that this is sort of a bit of a long-haul bit of issue because, we in the Western world know better, and we're not going to listen.
No.
Like they did in a lot of Asian countries where they just sort of shut down and got through it quickly. But, so with E3 being cancelled, there was a lot of people up in arms about it, a lot of people complaining. And because E3 is such a big point on the calendar each year for gamers and gaming developers and, the indie people that come out and showcase their stuff and are able to buddy up with, your Phil Spencers and Nintendo or whatever. Although I don't think Nintendo's going. Anyway, Phil has come out and said they're looking at doing a digital showcase where they will stream it on Mixer. which is, it's something that's absolutely fantastic. Yes, it's not going to have the big feel of a big convention where everyone's there together and everyone is so ridiculously hyped.
Yep.
You're going to lose out on that aspect of it, but we're still going to get the information.
Yep.
Ubisoft, I believe, has done the same thing, and who was it? There was a couple of others as well that have come in, which are escaping me at this time.
The good thing about all this is it makes absolutely no difference to you and I.
Yes.
No.
Because we were never going anyway, so...
But like I said, I think they're just being... I think they're being practical. I think they're being smart.
Oh,
because I think the US is slightly behind on how they're reacting to this. But I think they're going the same. They're going to end up the same way. They're going to shut down large gatherings. They're going to... And to be fair, if they keep on a trajectory that they're going to do this, they're now going to start spending money on getting ready, only for it to be cancelled anyway.
Yes.
So save the money. Do the smart, fiscally responsible thing to do. Don't employ a bunch of people and then pull jobs out from underneath them when the day comes.
Not to mention the people travelling from overseas, from interstate. They
weren't coming. They weren't going to come anyway because of travel bans and stuff like that.
Yeah, but even people thinking about going. Yeah. When they sort of go, it's 3 months away, we might have time. Yeah, we don't know.
Like I said, I don't think this is going to blow over quickly. So those travel bans will still be in place in some way, shape, or form. So I think, just bite the bullet now. It's probably better than some of the other, like the Formula One on the weekend was terrible debacle on how not to do shit. Yeah. That was wait until the very last minute and then go, no, we're not doing this. And piss everyone off who's already standing in line waiting, and drivers who are about to get in their cars and all this other shit. It just creates confusion. It creates more chances for the virus to spread because people are coming together but not coming together and all this jazz. Waiting in line. But this... Bite the bullet. Yeah, there's going to be a little bit of backlash now, but nowhere near as much as if they decide to cancel it on the date.
Yes.
So, just move on. Wait for next year.
Well, The Last of Us Part 2 comes out in approximately 70 days. So when that comes out, we should all play that, and it'll give us a preview of what Mankind is actually going to be like in a few years.
How far down the tube it's going. So with E3's cancelled, it's done. It's cool. A few people have come out and said, yes, we're still going to do something. Put hardware aside. What are you hoping to hear more about, Greg?
I don't know. To be fair, you put me on the spot.
Drink.
Drink.
I'm out, actually. I'm finished. The problem is that I'm kind of I got my blinkers on at the moment. I'm quite fixated on Cyberpunk at the moment. That's my next big thing.
That's fair enough.
Really, that sort of last year, that eclipsed everything else. Like, that was really what I wanted to find out about. Whereas this year, I'm kind of like, well, I guess I'm not expecting too much because, this is the hardware year.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of I guess Halo. That's probably the big... I kind of, if there's new hardware coming out, there's got to be games that are coming out on. So I'm thinking Halo and Forza, because those two will be next-gen launch items. Yeah. So those are probably the two things that I'll be most...
All right. Luke, yourself, have you got anything you're hoping to see some information about on with E3?
I want to see Microsoft flex their muscles with what exclusive games they've got coming. Seeing as though they've bought up all of these companies to make games for them, I want to know what they've got. I want them to drop some bombs and just go, hey, you know how our previous generation was rubbish and had fuck all cool games? I'm exaggerating. I know there was fantastic games on the Xbox, but I want them to come out and go, this is what we've been working on. This is a small percentage of what we've been working on. Obviously, we've got more to announce later when the time is right, but this is what we've been working on that we can show you now, and just go bang and throw us a big, massive explosion of cool shit. That's what I want to see. I want Microsoft to shine like they can.
Definitely. I would like to see that. As I'm a glutton for punishment, I want to see Elder Scrolls 6.
Oh, you
might. You probably won't.
I know nothing's been said about Bethesda doing anything.
Well, and even then, it's not even the next game on the list. We've barely heard about the next game on the list. So
yeah, I know, but we know it's coming.
Yeah,
and we know that Bethesda like to do things half-assed.
Oh, they blew their wad on that video, that Elder Scrolls 6 video. That shouldn't have been shown then. They had a fairly good year that year. They should have quit while they're ahead and saved it for this year.
I wouldn't mind to see that. Like, I'm kind of with you, Luke, in regards to seeing what Xbox can do do, but I've got something extra to put with that. I want to see them, if they're going to do, single-player story-driven games, I want to see them at the graphical level that PlayStation's putting out. I don't want this...
Yeah, they will.
I don't... Like, I know that the next... what is it? Senua? Sacrifice Blade. The next Sacrifice Blade is, that is a stunning title. It's going to be stunning, but that's one. So I kind of want to see them take, these developers that they've got. I want to see them let them loose and really see what these people can do. So who knows? We'll find out more in the lead up, I'm sure, because there'll be lots of leaks and bits and pieces. Radicus over in the chat wants to see, what was it? The Intellivision Amico.
I'm pretty sure that's not going to be at E3.
It was going to be. It was officially going to be a thing at E3. Yeah, 100%.
Oh, right. Okay.
Radicus wants the next gen flight game. So what? The next flight simulator?
The next flight simulator.
That did look pretty stunning.
I like the fact that I can fly over your house and go and have a look.
Yeah, because you're a creep.
Can't smash it in Twin Towers though, can you?
No, I'm going to smash it in the next door. Get rid of that shit fight.
I might do the same thing.
Hi, if you're listening.
Goodbye, Leo.
You like planes, do you?
I have another bit of news that I forgot to talk about. It's only a quick little bit. Did you boys ever play Prince of Persia?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
big
about...
fan. Big fan.
Big fan? What about For Honor?
No, hated it.
Yes.
No? Not a fan of it, Luke?
No.
Reg is a bit of a fan.
I wouldn't say I was a big fan, but
You're a bit of a fan.
I was a bit of a fan.
Bit of a fan. All right. So Prince of Persia is invading For Honor for a limited time themed in-game event and is playable from now until the 2nd of April.
I'm going to say that is like the buffest Prince of Persia I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, he doesn't really look like
He is, yeah.
Yeah. So for this one, I don't have a lot of information yet. I'm still going through it. But Ubisoft announced Blades of Persia, which is a For Honor cross-brand theme, title, which pretty much brings the Prince of Persia into For Honor and lets you beat the snot out of each other.
Yeah,
You cannot miss leg day.
Ubisoft are getting into a bit of a pattern here of, instead of getting off their fucking asses and making games, they're just doing skins and crossovers. And you know where I'm going with this, don't you?
I know exactly where you're going with it.
I'm waiting for Sam Fisher to come in
I'm sitting here pretending that I'm casting a fishing line.
Because
I'm swinging a baseball bat. Go out of here.
I got excited when I saw this piece of news myself until I read it and realised that it was a For Honor bullshit. It wasn't actually a new Prince of Persia game, because I would actually love a new Prince of Persia game. That would be great. But Ubisoft wouldn't want to do that because they're not reinvigorating any of their good IPs, only the IPs that are cash cows, which is really shitting me, which doesn't actually make sense with Legion that's coming out next year. That's a little bit different. But with a fucking Splinter Cell!
I was going to say, how is Splinter Cell not a cash cow? That would be like a mad cash cow.
No, well, it's not, because there's generally no multiplayer in there with microtransactions. But for fuck's sake, make multiplayer.
Like they couldn't shoot on that.
That's what I mean. Yeah. Do that. Make it. Do whatever you need to do, but give me the friggin' single player campaign, for fuck's sake. Fuck Ubisoft.
Could you imagine Splinter Cell with the multiplayer, and for the multiplayer you've got the ghosts from Wildlands coming in?
You got Noble Actual coming in.
Yes.
Noble team.
That would be sufficient. I wouldn't mind that. Damn!
You'll take it.
It's sufficient.
Fuck,
and then
they're just so shit.
All the Rainbow Six players would come in as well.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
So
Fuck,
Rainbow Six.
I don't care. Put bloody Trials Rising in there. Make motorbikes come past with just going, yeah! I don't care.
Just sneaking along with night vision on the motorbike.
Back flipping over there.
Yeah, and then a pop-up ad saying, buy Trials Rising now. I don't care. Just get... Ubisoft fucked.
There it is. All right, let's calm it down. Any other news that you guys have thought about or want to add?
Yes, today in news, Ubisoft are fucked.
All right. Anything? No? All right.
No.
So let's jump on.
Why did you look at me and just went, no, and just kept going?
Don't worry. All good.
It's like he was aiming up for something there. You can see me lining up.
All right, well, let's jump into some last words. So I've got a little bit of a shout out. Now, I've got a shout out for a company. So I have just replaced my router, and I just want to talk about, so Luke, you and Martikins helped me organise that what was actually happening. And
we helped you diagnose your problem.
Yes. And so I was that, I pretty much needed a new router. I went and bought one, and bought, again, one that I was looking at, and you also suggested it, a TP-Link router.
Yes. TP.
Now, TP everywhere. They're not a sponsor.
Surprised you could get one.
They're not a sponsor. If anyone from TP would like to get in touch with us, please do at info@theagexp.com. And this, I just want to talk about, I've never set up a router from brand new. It's always been a one that, the internet providers provided us, and I've only had to tweak it, changing to different internet providers. This one, I plugged it in, I connected to the Wi-Fi on my phone, I then had an app on my phone that I did everything from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Piece of piss.
It is,
10 minutes and it was done.
Yeah, they're easy, man. Good brand too.
I'll shout out because it was nice and easy. It was very quick. It was a bit, when I was doing it, I was thinking, okay, this is a bit daunting because I haven't done it before. I've got to go and, log into the IP address and blah, 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 blah. But no, none of that. Nice and easy. So thank you very much.
Yeah, when it comes to TP-Link, I mean, the first time I encountered them was I needed a new Ethernet hub for my lounge room because my previous one died. And I did a search on eBay and TP-Link popped up. I'm like, I've never heard of this brand before, but it's a reasonable price for what I want. I'll give it a try. I ordered it and it came in the mail, and it looked and felt like a really premium product, and it worked as good as it needed to. Like, I mean, it's an Ethernet hub. It just splits into 4 Ethernet ports, so I can plug more stuff into it. So it wasn't anything super fantastic, but I was just really impressed. The pricing was great. The actual device itself looked sleek and it looked really nice. And I've had no issue with it. I've since bought a TP-Link range extender, Wi-Fi range extender, which was a piece of piss to install as well. I plugged it in, used the WPS settings, connected it up, and it works great. Even if I unplug it, because it's one of those ones, it's the unit itself just plugs into a power point, and you switch the power point on and that's it. And even if I unplug it and move it to another point of the house and plug it back in, I don't have to do anything. It automatically sets itself up again. Even though it's completely lost power and all that sort of stuff. It's really good, and it's a good range extender. So I really do rate the TP-Link stuff. Just to hammer home, I'm talking it up like it's big time here, but not sponsored. They don't give us any free products or any money or anything like that. But I just rate them. I think they're good quality. Yeah,
and I too can agree with you. So good stuff. Any shout outs from yourself, Greg? No raging this week allowed?
No. I've got no raging. I'm calm. Serenity.
You've had your Guinness,
happy St. Patrick's Day for those that are going to celebrate tomorrow. I'd put that out there. I fixed my phone, so now I can go back to Instagramming.
Nice.
Like, I haven't been able to in the last while because every time I log in, it tells me that somehow I've been passing on my password to other services that give me more likes, and I'm like, have you looked at my Instagram? Don't have that many likes for this to be working, so you're lying. Otherwise, I need to get my money back, one or the other. Having said that, in the process, I had to delete everything off my phone, which meant that all the pictures that I was going to put up there aren't on my phone anymore. So I have to rectify that problem. But once I do, Instagramming away. So yeah, I should have some more stuff popping up now.
Beautiful. All right, yourself, Lucas?
As for shout outs, no, nothing particular comes to mind. Fuck Ubisoft.
Throw it in there. Why not? All right. Well, the other last words, Aussie Gamers TV and Snooger Vision over on Twitch. And, of course, as Grejio said, Grejio XBL on the Instas. And you'll be able to see that.
I'll do another one right now, like I did last week.
As they go up. So, good stuff. All right, boys, how about we close it up?
Yeah.
Nice. Thank you very much to everyone that's listening to the show, and especially those that are still listening this far along. A super special thanks to our live listeners who are chatting away while we recorded the show. And the gifts have just gone all night tonight. Every time I look over, because I'm not really facing the screen,
it's non-stop.
It's been an issue of trying to not burst out laughing the whole way through. Grejio, Lucas, thanks, boys.
No worries.
Hope you've had fun. Always. To all of our listeners, feel free to continue any of the topics we've discussed on this show over on our Discord channel or our Facebook page. To get in touch with us directly, you can shoot us an email at info@theagexp.com. And while you're at it, don't forget to hit up our website, www.theagexp.com. Links, as always, are in the podcast show notes and descriptions. That's all from me. As always, I am Snoogs.
I am Lucas.
And I have been Grejio.
See us.
Bye-bye, dude. Well, that's the end of another show, and if you're still listening to this part of the show, then know this, we love you. Come and join our exclusive Agents of Age group on Discord using the link in the description. Just join the server and say hi, quoting, "May the age be with you," and you will be added as an Agent of Age. Subscribe to this podcast using the links that are in the description for your convenience. Thanks again, we love you lots. See you next time on the official podcast of the Aussie Gamers Experience.